Hi there, and welcome back to Jediism 101. All right, so in our previous videos, we went over what modern Jediism is, and we have started to delve into the Jedi Code as I understand it and I interpret it. And we started with, of course, there is no emotion, there is peace. And the quick idea is the emotions don't control us, we control them. So, you know, just watch how your urges go. And then we also went to no ignorance, there is knowledge, where I just said basically read a book, watch a video, go learn something. Learn anything. Learn more about something you already know. It's awesome. Next line we had was no passion, there is serenity. That's not saying that you cannot have passions. Passion is great. Passion can get you started. It can show you a direction. But the passion can't be the fuel. It cannot be the fire. And you need to have that calm, peaceful way of being able to look at everything objectively before going forward with it. So you can have it, but you can't let it override the peace within your mind. We moved on to the next line of there is no chaos, there is harmony. This is a little bit more difficult. There's a lot of things that are chaotic out of there, and we have to do what we can to put the notes on the staff in the correct spot to make everything sound like it belongs where it belongs. In this day and age, in the world we currently live in, that gets tougher and tougher. I know it, you know it. We can do it if we all work at it. So our next line in the Jedi Code here, and keep in mind, still in the expanded version, and it actually is one of my favorite lines, and it's, there is no fear, there is courage. Many people may interpret this to mean that you need to be fearless, completely fearless. Just charge right in, sword drawn, banner flying, because that's what all the other knights did right before they burst into flame. Sorry, Shrek reference, couldn't resist. But that's the idea. That's the idea that they think they have to have. But courage is not the absence of fear. It's acknowledging that it's there and doing the thing anyways. We'll take firefighters. They don't run into a burning building because they're not scared of the flames. They're terrified. It's fire. It's a house. It can collapse on you. We know this is there's so many ways that can go wrong. But they also know there's someone in there to save. So, despite the fear, they rush in and do the thing. That's courage. Now, I'm not saying you guys have to become firefighters to experience what courage is. There's many ways of courage, and some of them are smaller than others, some of them are larger than others. I'd be afraid of quitting my job all of a sudden. But I have to have the courage to know that there's something better for me. It takes courage to set a boundary. Not a state boundary or anything like that. I'm talking about telling somebody, hey, I'm not comfortable with that line of action you're taking towards me or how you're treating me. I'm not comfortable with this. Either change your behavior or we're going to be done. We'll change our relationship, or I will, one of the two. And that takes courage. It takes courage to stand up for what you want. And I think it was, don't crucify me for this if you're in the UK, but I believe it was Churchill who said, if you don't have any enemies, you haven't stood for anything worthwhile. And even if it's not Churchill, that phrase still is out there. You have to have the courage to do the scary thing. Life doesn't happen in a bubble, and it seldom happens when you're safe. This is how you grow stagnant. The Jedi of the movies and of the earlier books, this is what happened to them. They stopped growing. They stopped learning. They stopped having fear altogether and just did what they always knew. But learning something new takes courage. You have to be courageous to suck at something for a while. learning a new skill, learning a new language, reading a book that's not in your genre. I mean, you know, you can see behind me, I have Star Wars books. So obviously, the sci-fi space opera genre is kind of my thing. But I also have on lower shelves books about superheroes. I have, funny enough, I actually have paranormal romance novels. Why? Because it's different. I read one once because I was bored, and here I am several years later, and I own them all. Well, at least all the ones that are out currently. But, and the thing is, I admit this in public. And that's kind of brave because, you're reading a trashy romance novel? And the thing is, you can find some trashy ones out there, but you can really find some good writing out there too if you know which ones to look for. Now, if you're interested in knowing which ones I'm reading, please let me know in the comments and I'll be more than happy to share that. That's not what this video is about, so I want to move on from it. So, like I said, the whole idea here is not saying there is no fear. A truly fearless person is dangerous. And they're a danger not to the people around them, or not just to them, but they're dangerous to themselves. They don't know when to say, you know what, maybe I shouldn't. It's that pinging sixth sense in the back of your head that says, that bridge doesn't seem very sturdy. Maybe I shouldn't say, hey, hold my beer. Which, is adult speak for, hey, mom, watch this, right before we do something stupid. But you still want to do the brave thing every once in a while. It allows you to grow. You have to break something a little bit, in the fear of it, and be brave enough to look at it and say, no, I'm doing this. So, in essence, there is no fear, there is courage, means recognizing that the fear is there and still walking forward. That is something I think a lot of people need to do more of. We get complacent in our lives. We get secure. And there's nothing wrong with safety and security. But we don't grow as people unless we do the scary thing every once in a while. And that takes courage to do. So, I'm going to leave that line with you guys. Take a look at a few things. Take a look at a few things around you. What's scary that you want to do, but you're really afraid of what's going to happen? And see if you can do it. I know you can. Till then, I'm going to leave you off with my usual send-offs of make sure that you drink more water. Make sure you get better sleep. Make sure you're kind to the people that you meet, to the animals around you, to the environment we live in, and especially, always, be kind to yourself. You only have the one you. Until then, my friends, have a great day, and may the Force be with you.